So I've had quite a negative experience with an electric blanket in the past, where I accidentally caused a house fire at my mum's house. I think that was in 2010. My mum was in India at the time, and it was myself and my sister. We were kind of in our late teens, early 20s, and we'd gone to bed that night, and there was some issues with the boiler, so put our electric blankets on.
As you do.
As you do. And then I kind of woke up in the early hours to kind of the smell of smoke, and noticed that there were flames right by my head. And it was one of those electric blankets that you lie on, so it was like underneath me.
Under blanket.
Yeah. And so I jumped out of bed, obviously, and realised that the fire had kind of damaged the plug, and then the fire had gone up the cable of the plug and gone into my bed. So thankfully I woke up and raised the alarm to my sister, who ran outside, and I kind of then stupidly thought, oh, I can solve this problem. And I did exactly what you're not meant to do, and I went and got a damp towel and threw it on the bed, and immediately that went up, and it caught the curtains, and outside on the driveway my sister was having a heart attack because she saw it go up and thinking that the windows would blow. So at that point I was like, okay, it's time for me to leave. And I went down the stairs, and thankfully our next door neighbour kind of reminded us to kind of close the doors as we were coming out, so she kind of went in and made sure all the doors were closed, that it didn't spread any further. But I mean, that was her putting herself at risk as well. But then kind of afterwards, the kind of aftermath of it, even though it was only, I suppose, quite a small contained fire, it caused quite severe damage to the top part of the house. So all the smoke blackened all the walls and everything, and there were feathers everywhere because my pillows had exploded.
Wow.
And it was quite kind of funny afterwards, being like, oh, you know, it looked quite amusing, but then it made me realise what could have been had I not woken up and at the time that I did. So I think it was quite a difficult lesson to learn, really, as to how to make sure that your electric blankets are well maintained. I mean, it was only, I think they were about 5 years old. So I think my mum's main regret was putting the damp, wet item on an electrical fire. So, but I mean, I guess that coincides with what you guys say in terms of your guidance, isn't
That's it. It's always get out, stay out, and call 999. You know, let us come and deal with the fire. We've got all the equipment, everything you need to obviously resolve that incident. And thankfully you did call us, and we did get it resolved for you. Now, hopefully everything's all okay. But we do recommend your electric blankets after 10 years old, get rid of them. Every 2 years, get them pat tested by a qualified electrician, just to make sure they are safe. And obviously check for any frayed wires. But don't leave them on overnight. Just warm your bed up and then turn them off and enjoy a good night's sleep.
And I think that's particularly important, isn't it, when we're we're experiencing this cold snap at the moment, and everyone's worried about the cost of living, aren't they? So I think it's definitely an important message that we get through. And from my point of view, I mean, I don't have electric blankets now, and
Good, best one.
And I'm very conscious even with candles and making sure that those aren't left unattended either. So I think a big lesson learned from our point of view as a family as well.
We've done your bedtime routine. Make sure all the back candles are out, the electric blankets are off, and the most important, shut all the doors. Because them doors are 30 minutes each, so it'll stop that fire for 30 minutes, reach into the next room. So you did really well doing what you did in the end.